Good evening. It's been a wild day on the water with huge waves lashing beaches right along the southeast coastline. Despite repeated warnings and pleas, lifeguards were flat out performing rescues as the swimmers and surfers risked the cyclonic-like swell.
We have reporters across the coast with the latest conditions. We begin our coverage tonight with Phil Wilmington on the Sunshine Coast.
Forget Big Wednesday, this was Super Saturday, super-sized waves. For anyone who ventured in, even Lifesavers, it was a wild ride. Mooloolaba Surf Beach, like so many others, was closed. Lifesavers fighting a losing battle to keep swimmers out of harm's way. This lone swimmer, a lonely speck amid the walls of water, going nowhere, he heads for shore. It became a marathon. He has to navigate the rocks, gets knocked over, gets up again. Finally, it's over. He's exhausted.
Current's too strong, mate. He's heading north too hard, so...
You had everyone worried.
Why?
Bloody idiot.
Those people to the right of the tower, please clear the water now.
I expect more from people on a day like this. It's putting lifesavers at risk going out to get them.
They rescued a surfer, brought him back to shore. Just one of several dramas, including this one. A woman gets into trouble, raises her arm. Lifesavers perform yet another rescue.
I got dumped, I think 3 or 4 times in a row, and I lost my orientation and I didn't realise I was getting sucked out.
Moffat Beach was closed too, though it didn't look it. It was like some kind of oversized washing machine. Mate, what's it like out there?
Scary.
The waves here at Moffat Beach are stupidly big. And there's a strange phenomenon going on. There is so much backwash here from when the water smashes into the rocks and then it rushes back. The water is sort of colliding with the waves as they come in, sending big plumes of this white foam into the air.
Just get smashed by the rocks.
Despite the danger, it was a spectacle that drew plenty of spectators.
I'm amazed. It's really big. We've lived here for 10 years. I think it's one of the biggest I've seen.
Dicky Beach closed as well, and it looked it. A white water world.
One of our blokes just tried to go for a swim and he got in at sort of like 100 metres south and came in like 500 metres north, so he got swept. The sweep is really bad.
On the sunny coast, Noosa was the only beach open to swimmers. Open, but still hazardous, with a number of people hurt, including one with spinal injuries and another with a dislocated shoulder.
Live to Phil Wilmington at Mooloolaba. Phil, there is still plenty of people on the beach.
You bet. The picture behind me says it all, doesn't it? Lots of people down on the beach. Look at the loo with the view. Look out over there. A lot of people up there. And all along the foreshore here, the Esplanade at Mooloolaba's main surf beach, it's been like this all day. Just people, it's like they're drawn by a magnet. They want to see and witness this phenomenon of nature. The water here is so powerful. As for tomorrow, well, they're now saying that, like today, almost all of the beaches will be shut. At the very least for the morning. They say the best case scenario at this stage, Sophie, is that perhaps they may be able to open some of the beaches tomorrow afternoon.
Fingers live at Kira Beach. Claire, what were conditions like there?
Well, Sophie, conditions here were massive. Most of the sets were rolling in above 4 metres, and even some of the offshore buoys clocked some of those waves at 6 metres. That's from peak to trough, so just huge. But lifesavers here have been fairly impressed with how beachgoers have been conducting themselves. They've only had to perform one major rescue, and that was for a kite surfer a little further north from here. Most of their work really has been from board riders who have come unstuck at Snapper Rocks here at Kira and then a little bit further north from me at Burleigh. But certainly that threat of injury didn't scare any of those real expert surfers away.
This is the only angle that does today's surf justice. Perfect barrels, one after the other, a board rider's dream, and hundreds were lapping up the 4-metre swell on the Gold Coast beaches.
It's pretty challenging, but certainly rewarding when they come.
It was on before the sun rose. Surfers woke early to get a head start, with Snapper, Burleigh and Kira the picks. Snapper Rocks living up to its name.
Just a bit of a takeoff and try to get out of the wave and come up and in a half.
Even pro Mick Fanning was desperate to get amongst it, held up only by adoring fans. Then it was straight into the deep.
It's really, really wet and wild.
A tow worked wonders in the whitewash, but even jet skis succumbed to the swell, these riders coming close to serious injury. There were plenty of spills in the water, so too those knocked over on land by its force.
The wave was so powerful, I slid all down here 15 foot.
Just south of the border, conditions surged. A spectator sport only. The force behind these waves just incredible, pounding the coastline but not causing the widespread damage to the beach as predicted.
For those smart enough to stay out of the beaches, well, there were plenty of thrills here at the Gold Coast Spit, where it was nearly impossible to stay dry anyway.
I was actually going to jump in the waves and they said that I shouldn't, so yeah, I decided not to. Probably smart.
Never seen it this bad here in all the years we've been here, but no, this is unbelievable.
Still, to the frustration of lifesavers, people ignored the warnings.
When the swell is so big, especially on the high tides, the water sucks out when there's a set of waves and then it surges all the way in. There is a lot of power there. People can get knocked off their feet. Young children can get knocked around.
This water is destined to churn again tomorrow. Claire Hunter, 9 News.